There wasn't a hotter team in America than the Florida Gators last year to end the 2024 season, even throughout the bowl game when they beat Tulane. I mean, Billy Napier, 2 big-time wins against LSU to Ole Miss in the year. Can they improve? Finished 9-4, was left for dead, folks, after the A&M game. Put it on at the end of the year. Can they improve? I'm here to give you 3 reasons why the Florida Gators will be better in 2025. I am your college football host here at the SEC Unfiltered channel, Dave Shumate, longtime personnel recruiting director in the SEC, 9 years in total in college football analyst here at the SEC Unfiltered. Guys, this segment brought to you by our buddies, our proud title sponsor over at FANDUEL. Visit FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today and get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Folks, let's get right into it. Reason number 1, and before I explain, this could be all over the place a little bit. This is, like I mentioned in my previous videos, this is going to be on the field, talent, some of this in today's college football now. I'm big on it. If you followed SEC Media Days, you probably saw me asking a lot of questions about personnel, character, how these coaches evaluated. I was going to ask, for Florida fans listening, Billy Napier, but he kind of went in to my question when someone else asked something somewhat similar. But I asked Kirby Smart, Shane Beamer, Josh Heupel, Sam Pittman, guys like that across the line about personal character, football character kind of stuff, evaluation in terms of now when these guys got money over their head. So it's going to be all over the place here. But leading off, I think this was a pretty low-hanging fruit, but I got to take it. DJ Lagway's health. That would be my first reason. I think if you told me DJ Lagway stayed healthy for all 12 regular season games, I know it could extend to 16, 17, but for conversation speak, 12 that we know are on the schedule that Florida's 100% playing. If he stayed healthy for all 12, I think Florida is for sure an 8-4, 9-3 football team. If you told me they had really good health around him, I think they could get to 10. I know that sounds crazy to say. I think some people would have the ceiling for the Gators at 9. I'd push up to 10, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But DJ Lagway's health is first and foremost. I think Florida's built to win at every other position for the most part around him. We know he's got 2 injuries, upper, lower body, the hamstring that we thought was worse against Georgia. Thankfully, it wasn't. Also, the shoulder injury, didn't participate in spring. I've heard rumors at times he can't really throw the football over 25, 30 yards right now. I'm not saying that's true. I haven't heard firsthand from someone I really trust with that. That's just been sprinkled around. Thought I would throw that tidbit. I'm sure Florida fans maybe have heard the same a little bit. And I'll say what would concern me is if Lagway couldn't make it through a season and they had to have someone else start behind him. The floor in that quarterback room this year is much lower than it was last year in 2024. Let me explain. You had Graham Mertz, longtime college football starter. Again, he gets banged up. But you had a freshman phenom from Willis, Texas in DJ Lagway to come behind him. This year, you got Harrison Bailey. Remember Harrison Bailey who signed with Tennessee, folks? Yeah, that Harrison Bailey with Jeremy Pruitt, that guy. He's still in college football. He is your backup if you're a Florida fan and do not know that right now, or anybody who's listening trying to get an early scouting report on if they play Florida this year. Harrison Bailey is the backup. So the floor is much lower in this quarterback room this year if the starter goes down. I don't like to talk about injuries, not projecting injuries, but I think Florida more than any other team has the biggest, our highest ceiling, lowest floor, just totally due to their quarterback depth and what DJ Lagway could mean to them. But I think first and foremost, DJ Lagway's health would be definitely one of the 3 reasons Florida would be improved. And obviously his natural progression and stuff like that. Again, I asked DJ Lagway a phenomenal question, I thought. Not to toot my own horn, but I asked Taylor Green this question and he didn't want to answer it. Now, maybe for different reasons, but I asked DJ Lagway what was his favorite passing concept with Billy Napier. He said he liked play action, some dagger routes and stuff like that. So I love that answer. He's going to get that in an NFL interview with the GM. Taylor Green essentially told me to kick rocks. He didn't want to say that. I guess maybe someone could go clip back SEC Media Days and see what he likes to do in third and medium. And man, that would be Connor Stallions type black ops stuff from that perspective. But DJ Lagway's health, guys, back on track, leading us off. Second, just going to go to the defensive line in general. I mean, to be a great elite football team, I'm not ready to say Florida's elite, but you have to be good on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They obviously are on the offensive side, but I wanted to touch on defense, obviously. With Ron Roberts' second year as the full-time DC, I think they're going to be really good up front. And that's always a good thing to be really good on both sides of the line of scrimmage. That screams you have championship type of material. You're throwing a guy like Lagway, but it's going to be led by that nasty defensive front. I mean, Tyreek Sapp, Caleb Banks, George Gums, just keep going. They have depth. I think they can go 6-7 deep. You like the way this team has been built. This unit is going – this usually good to great teams, even if they're not great in the second and third levels. If you're taking over up front on defense, that helps everything behind you. I mean, look at Auburn's 2010 defense. I hate going back into that big of a Rolodex, but Nick Fairley almost just completely changed. That was not a great defense with Ted Roof and Gene Chizik. I mean, obviously you had Cam Newton, but I'm talking about defense here. They were pretty good, pretty deep, had an elite guy in Nick Fairley and some solid guys sprinkled in 6 through 8 deep, and they just rotated, were really good. Antonio Coleman. So, I mean, you being that good up front can change a lot of things. Because let me tell you, Auburn's second and third levels, the linebackers and secondary were not good that year. I think Florida has much more talent than that team. So that's what I'm saying. If this defense can live up to its billing, I think it's a top 10 defensive line unit in the sport, in college football. If they can stay healthy, I'm telling you, some big things can go. I've seen teams with lesser second level and third level talent on defense go win a national championship because their defensive line was so dominant. Just like Florida can be, but Florida has better talent on their second and third levels than some of those teams have. I'm just telling you, think about Auburn from 2010 from that perspective. But guys, before we go any further, again, I got to give a shout out. Guys, remember, this segment brought to you by our buddies over at FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook is here to help you make every moment more. The app is safe, secure, super easy to use. Already have an account? FanDuel Sportsbook offers great promotions every day to all users. Profit boost tokens, new features like Parlay Hub, build your own same-game parlay, or choose from one of those popular SGPs already made for you in the Parlay Hub. If you haven't signed up yet, go to FanDuel.com/SECU to learn more. So visit FanDuel.com/SECU. SECU and get into the action with offers you won't want to miss. Must be 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in DC. First online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with the Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit Gambling Helpline, ma.org, or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York, guys. Again, the Florida over under 7.5. I do believe last time I checked on FanDuel. I want to be sure for that. FanDuel team totals, college football. Should have had that one already up for you folks. But again, this is why my internet's fast here. It can get it to us here real quick. Let me see. I think we had Florida for the Gators. Let's see. Florida win total FanDuel. I believe it's 7.5. I want to believe it is 7.5. Yep. Oh, they had it 6.5 earlier. I'm hitting way over that, folks. I'm hitting way over that. All right, here we go. Here's something mud. Yeah. I'm going to go with the 7.5. I'm going to take Florida over there again, but it's so reliant, folks. It's so reliant on just the overall, just how healthy DJ Lagway is. I know I've already hit on that. But, guys, for recap before we get in the final, 3 reasons why I think the Gators will be better in 2025. DJ Lagway's health. Not really his progression, just overall health. Because I think if you told me he was healthy through the 12, Florida's going to exceed their 7.5 win total, I think, certainly in Vegas, according to our buddies over at FanDuel. And then secondly, defensive line. Again, I've seen less talented second levels and back ends, secondary players that Florida has go win national championships, like the Auburn 2010 teams. They had Nick Fairley and a guy could step up, a guy who and other guys who can go take over. You got Caleb Banks and a lot of guys like that surrounding him at Florida, and Florida's much better at the second and third levels than that Auburn team was. So I think they have a real shot, especially if DJ Lagway can stay healthy, blend that in with the physicality on defense. Then I think third reason why I think the Gators will be better in 25. It's Billy's team. I told you this isn't all just going to be about personnel, roster, both sides of the football. I mean, Napier and them have put together 3 really good classes that are theirs that are now the juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. And sprinkle in whatever, the red shirt freshmen, red shirt sophomores. The guys that have been in the program, not transferred 3 years or longer that they signed, it's majority of them. 75, 80% of this team is theirs. I don't count the 22 class because they didn't have a full year. That was when Billy just came and stepped in that first year. That is 3 classes. The team has its quarterback in DJ Lagway, a strong offensive line if Rob Sell can get the right side figured out. I mentioned the defensive line with Caleb Banks and the boys. The secondary, I think, is a top 10 unit in the sport. Great culture in the locker room. Few of Billy Napier's signees that he brought in from high school have left that program. And most of that money you heard last year was invested in the freshmen and sophomore. Now you have 3 classes they've really invested their money in, the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, like I kind of mentioned just a second ago. A lot of those guys, the core of the team is not left. Sprinkle in this staff, this off the field staff, the coaching staff, they all have this camaraderie going back to their Louisiana days. This is a staff that's been together for a while. They're drinking what Billy Napier is making. It is. I mean, a lot of that offensive staff. He's rotated some of the defensive guys, but still defensive coordinators, but still a lot of this core staff on and off the field, especially on the offensive side of the ball and the off the field support staff, recruiting side, have been together. They know what each other are looking for in the critical factors specifically. There's something to be said for this. This is year 4. Billy deserved the year 4 with the way he was building it through the high school ranks. It's a make or break year. But if you're going to tell me Florida was going to improve on their 9-win total after beating Tulane in the bowl game last year, I would say this was a massive reason why that team culture finally bought through. Remember, everybody was laughing at Billy Napier last year after the A&M game. They went into the bye week, and he's like, myself included now. I'm not making fun of anybody else, myself included. But no, I mean, this was a team, I'm sorry, staying corrected. It ended up being 8-5. Sorry. 8-5 last year after the bowl win. I stand corrected if I said that earlier. So I just want to make sure. I was like, were they 7-5 in the year with that bowl game? Yeah, they won 8 games after beating Tulane in the Gasparilla Bowl. Great bowl game, by the way. But from a standpoint of everyone had Billy buried and dead, he's like, oh, this is the best bye we've had in a while. And everyone, like, maybe not, I wasn't as some, but still was like, that's just interesting. The best bye week we've had. Like, what do you celebrate in 2 weeks? You've heard how bad you were. They're already getting Billy's buyout. Goes around and turns it around. I mentioned it had 2 massive wins to end the year against LSU and Ole Miss, both at home, to ultimately get to 7 in the regular season, 8 in the bowl game. Sorry if I said 9 earlier. I'm sure I'll be corrected in the comments. But, guys, those are my 3 reasons why. If you told me Florida exceeded the 8-win total they had last year after the bowl game, I would go those 3. It was DJ Lagway's health, which I think that's real if he can stay healthy through the first 12. After that, it's a conversation for another day. Defensive line, the great teams, good teams always are really good up front. And then third, I just think this is his roster. 75, 80% of it. A lot of those guys have not left. A lot of his high school guys he signed. A lot of continuity on that offensive staff. A lot of continuity off the field. They know what they've been looking for in the body types, character types in the roster they've been building with guys like the GM, like Jacob LaFrance and stuff like that. Only thing they've had to change is a little bit of strengthening and conditioning and some defensive coordinators, but I think they're built to win now. I really think if you made me weigh in order of what matters the most, it's going to be DJ Lagway's health, defensive line, and that culture. I think in order of how I went through it is how you would go through it. I wouldn't necessarily say that on a couple of the other segments I've done. But again, we're only through Florida, guys. But I am your host, Dave Shumate, coming at you here from the SEC Unfiltered. Just gave you 3 reasons why the Florida Gators and Billy Napier will be better in year 4 for him in 2025. Guys, this segment was brought to you by our buddies over at FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today and get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Guys, you have a phenomenal rest of your afternoon. I'm telling you, Florida's could be a big year, guys, all dependent on the health of DJ Lagway. Have a great day, folks.